KCAA.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success. Go hard and go home, never settle for less. Life is stress, but we gotta deal with it, homie. Send a prayer to the man to put a shield on it. Work hard for what you get, appreciate what you got. You can always improve, just don't stop. Going for your dream to achieve in your life. Gotta take a chance like rolling the dice. It won't come to you, so you gotta go get it. At the end of the day, add up the digits. Miss Price used to say, if there's a will, there's a way. So I live by it until this very day. I kept on mashing and I never gave up. Me believing in myself is the way I came up.
Team, this is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show on KCAA NBC 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, where we will talk politics, culture, and history. Today is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. We are going to observe it in a little bit, and we're going to listen to his I Had a Dream speech, and we'll go over some of the stuff with DJ Muda and Ipiani Lockhart, and hopefully Jesse will be here soon. It's a good show. Like, I want to really just listen to his speech, get into it, and try to pick something out of it that you like and that you want to talk about. Before that, I have to mention our sponsors: Celebrities Bar and Grill over on 40th Street.
Hey now.
Oh man, Max Sayer's got some good food over there. Him and Zoe have been buying local businesses up.
Awesome.
Starting JJ's is going now. He's got a Juice It Up. He's really trying to expand, and I like to see that entrepreneurs actually that can make some money in San Bernardino.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey now.
No, it's on alcohol, but also steak specials, right? So yeah, Tuesday and Saturday.
I don't think I've ever ate there before.
Oh, definitely. You gotta check it out. You gotta check it out.
You gotta book me first.
Yeah. we
make that happen too.
I can make that happen. Yeah. Especially, you might want to do a football game. What's your favorite football team?
I haven't really had one in a long time, but I think the Lions are my favorite team now. I go to Detroit a lot. I got a lot of Detroit homies.
If you were a Raiders fan,
okay.
Man,
Raider Nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Bears fan, unfortunately, for the
I
Raiders.
think
They hate it.
I'm a Lions fan now. I don't know. That might change it. I might change every year. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong.
I don't care.
I just see like when Angel Baby does his Raiders thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I believe you.
He has that thing packed on 2 people on top of each other, man.
Shout out to Angel.
Yeah, I drive past there almost every day, and I've never been. I think I've been in there one time.
Oh, we'll have to get you in there sometime.
Yeah, we gotta get in there. We gotta have DJ Muda spin. Listen,
If
if you got any establishment out here, especially in the Dino, you need DJ
anyone
Muda
can
in there.
afford you, man, you're making the big bucks now, dude.
I mean, yeah, clearly if he's buying all the Juice It Up and JJ's and all that, he got some money.
He can afford him.
Keep the money in Link, right? Keep the money in the Dino. So even if I am charging a lot, at least I'm in the Dino.
Amen.
You gonna charge some?
He's setting precedent.
That part. Because other people gonna charge probably the same price as me, and they not from here.
Come on now.
Hello.
Well, I'm gonna ask about that. Like, how do you decide how much you're worth? How does that work?
That's a good question. I don't know. I started at one rate, and then I continued to go up. You know what it was? It was when I started getting like big bookings and contracts, and they start like offering me money. So that told me like, oh, this is how much I'm worth.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
You get what I'm saying? And then when it became regular, when I started getting these contracts with like the schools in the district, like with San Bernardino Valley College, for example, I don't never charge them. They already have a certain amount they give me for any event I do, and to me, I'm like, okay, that's cool. So
is it an honorarium or?
No, it's more like I mean, they kind of know my rate already.
Okay,
Shout out to Amanda. So she pretty much bases around the initial rate that she started giving me from jump, and it was I liked it, and it was from there on. Once I start getting these big contracts, I start realizing like, oh, my worth is high because they're ready to pay me something that I didn't even think I was worth.
His worth is really, really high.
Yeah, so
And is that Amanda Moody? Amanda Moody that you're referencing to?
Yes, sir.
Definitely shout out to Amanda Moody. She was one of our award recipients.
Yeah,
at the
she's so
gala.
dope, man. I love her so much.
Definitely.
Ever since I met her, our relationship has been locked in.
Awesome.
Man, and I
Go
hope,
Wolverines as well.
yeah, definitely. I DJ all the events at Valley as well as the sporting events as well. You know what I'm saying?
And the Christmas. I mean,
I DJ for the
move
city.
everywhere.
Yeah, you hear that? So celebrities.
Yeah.
Reach out.
All
man.
right.
You're
Let me.
missing
I ain't
your
gonna lie,
blessing.
though, I ain't gonna get on the interview and act like that. He has reached out to me about booking me before, but the dates didn't align.
Okay,
So
okay.
I haven't DJ'd there, but he has reached out. So I'm not
Oh,
gonna, I ain't even gonna do him like that.
All
You know what I'm saying?
all right. The truth has come through.
But I still haven't DJ'd there yet. So
I hear you.
we still gotta make it work.
We
gotta
can,
make
we
it
can
happen.
work this
But
out.
I think when it comes to like how much I charge, he was ready to pay it. So that wasn't an issue.
Yeah, and
You know, it was more the dates.
Max is always fair. He's always been fair with all the performers that I brought.
And he
through
reached
there.
out to me, so that was dope. You know what I'm saying? I ran into
Yeah,
him at an
yeah, Amy
event.
performed there with the band too. Like that's it's good to have a local bar that actually brings locals in, man.
And then shout out to Amy for a beautiful performance today at the
Route 66.
Route
Oh,
66
man, that
and the
was
Martin
dope.
Luther King
Yeah.
parade and extravaganza as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. No, Amy sang the song Route 66 today.
Oh, yes,
and I
okay.
was very proud as a San Bernardino.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
You
you
know,
go.
I-
That used to be the theme song.
We used to talk. We actually talked about like we wonder if St. Louis and like some of those places they have that same affinity.
for that
Is Route
song.
66 their song too?
I think
Possibly.
anybody
Yeah.
where it went through, any state
Yeah, I
that
think
it
so.
went through.
I believe. I would believe so. I mean,
It's a good song.
it
is
might be
classic.
dope if somebody can remix that into something like current.
Yeah,
DJ Muda.
I might have to do like a Route 66 mashup
Yeah.
with like that song and a hip hop song
and
blended.
bring some new artists, some local
Yeah,
artists doing
yeah.
shouting out,
Yeah.
or knowing that you travel across the country, try to find different artists along Route 66.
Oh yeah, that
Or,
would be
or
dope.
Muda traveling the whole Route 66. Yeah, doing DJ
I would
the
do
whole
that if I had enough like subscribers on YouTube where I can make money like
Yeah.
for doing it, like
Nah,
or if I
nah,
had like
nah.
a sponsor or something like that.
Yeah. Have you been doing YouTube too?
I throw my stuff on YouTube more, but like I said, I have a podcast as well. Shout out to the Ox Connect podcast. That is getting my YouTube thing rolling, and then I want to start doing my lifestyle because everybody feel like that the life I live is YouTube worthy. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying?
Amen.
So I'm like, and I got a camera already. I'm like, you know what? Let me just start vlogging myself.
The angle that I think that I think you can really capitalize on is helping other people that want to visit Nigeria, go to
Oh, yeah.
Africa,
Yeah,
and
yes,
be
yeah.
a liaison,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fixer in
yeah,
there because. I know some people are uncomfortable going to new countries, especially if they don't know anyone from there.
Facts.
You could be that liaison for
Facts.
people that want to go from out West Side California or anywhere in
anywhere.
this nation over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, definitely.
Especially from the angle if they want to party, have a good time.
Yeah,
Because I know you
even
do some
both,
DJs.
even both sides from the scene.
Vice versa, yeah.
You know what I'm
Both
saying?
ways,
So
for
yeah, I
real.
think that's dope.
So if you do run for mayor and we make you mayor,
It's gonna
like,
be bigger than that, brother.
Do they put King in front of?
No,
mayor?
that's the crazy part.
Where does King go in that?
I'm not gonna make set people because you know what? It's crazy. Let me tell you about that word king, right? We literally had somebody on my podcast say that they were the king of the alley through music.
I
And
saw that
You seen
one.
that, right?
I saw that
and it's
one.
just so much of an uproar. Like it was just so much. So I'm like, you know what? Even though I really have king blood running in
No,
me,
I believe you.
I stay away from just saying that word
Yeah.
because so many people take it too literal or they don't really get it or it's
I
just
hear
too
you.
much. You know what I'm saying? So
What
yeah.
about Prince?
Either or. I don't want to be
Yeah.
called none of that. You know
I
what I'm
hear
saying?
you.
I'm
I hear
Muda.
you.
You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
But if you know, you know. Because
Yeah.
if you go to Nigeria, my name really is
No, I
you know what I'm
believe
saying?
you.
So,
But
so
like,
is there an actual like title?
I mean,
Like,
yeah, my
once you
father
look-
was a
yeah.
king. He
So
died
to
a king
me,
for sure.
That is very important.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
But I would
it
if I was to
deserves
run
respect.
if I was
Yeah.
to run for any office, which I will do one day soon in San Bernardino, I won't put anything king. I'm trying to see if I can even put Muda because you know Muda is in my government name.
No, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm damn near like, I don't know if I can cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I don't even know if I can put that because that's not my government. You
No,
know what I'm
I hear you.
saying?
And
But
you're gonna have to use your government name.
but everybody
What about
knows
if you
me.
change it?
Nah, because my last name, like my name is William Amudape. You know my
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
name. So Muda derives from Muda. Or Muda, I'm sorry, comes from Amudape.
Yes.
Right? So I can't change my name to Muda Amudape.
Yeah,
That wouldn't make no
I
sense.
hear
You know what I mean? I mean, I could, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
go ahead.
But with me saying that, a lot of people know me as Muda.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
DJ
even
Muda.
when I start the campaign, whenever I do, I'm gonna have to like let people know Muda is also William. So when you see that name, that's me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I would have to figure it out. I'll figure it out then and there. But
well, you'll have enough people back. It's gonna be blast.
Oh yeah,
Amen.
Oh yeah. I'm speaking that into existence. And again, we had this conversation earlier. I don't know what I'm gonna run for yet. I'm going for the top spot eventually, and we already know what spot that is.
Mr. President.
I mean, no. I'm talking about in the city.
Okay.
In the city,
Okay.
in the city.
Board of Soups.
I don't.
Or City Council.
Higher than that, the highest one you can get.
Okay. So
And
Senator
you
or
know,
Congress.
He's gonna paint the White House green, man.
You know, and my name start with an M, and I feel like I gotta go. What else start with an M? You know what I'm saying? So so eventually, but I know one day whenever I do that, I'm gonna have a lot of people behind me, and I want to continue to do the work I'm doing out here in the town in the San Bernardino, just so people can recognize when I do run for any part of the office, they gonna know I'm a reliable local that can really make change.
And that you're out there, it always gives you credibility. You're not gonna be out here talking about, oh, I done this. No, they've seen you in community.
There is my campaign won't ever be, this is what I did. It's gonna be like, this is what y'all saw me do.
I hear you.
Because I really did it.
And this is what we're doing together. Because it's a collective.
And that is exactly what we need today. I'm tired of talking.
Hey, what I tell you today, and there's no diss against nobody in council, nobody that's running in San Bernardino, none of that. But I love what my guy Ben is doing, and like I said before, moving forward, I would like to see the Dino with that generation running the city.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
It would be.
I'm gonna just leave it at that because our generation.
It's time.
We are the change, and we are making the change.
In,
so
in any city that would be
any city, I can't even speak for any city. And you're right, but I'm speaking for my city.
No, the Dino.
And my city needs to have people running it that are.
And we do.
People, not only locals though, but I'm talking about the young ones. And when I say young, I'm talking about obviously 30 and up.
Definitely.
But I mean, of course, if there's people that are in their 20s that can to make it happen,
he started at 28. So the pop demographic.
Yeah.
You know.
But even having been in there is like such a rarity. It makes San Bernardino looks that good. Right,
Definitely.
Because they don't let the youth in.
2024, I'm pushing the campaign.
Going to. We're not worried about what they're letting. We're going to turn out the voters.
I was just about to say that. 2024, after all this election in March, I'm pushing the youth in the office all through the board. From the school board to Congress to Senate to eventually mayor. You know what I'm saying? Like being so that we can't relate to them. Yeah, we can't relate to them. Well, I relate to Ben and everything he's doing, and he's doing everything for us and below. And that's what we need, and that's what I'm going to see. And hopefully 5 years from now, everybody that's in office is going to be between the ages of 30 and 45, 50.
That'd be beautiful.
And I would love that. And I can almost guarantee you guys will really see, not just hear about it, but really see the change.
Yes, I believe it. Because we out here. We really out
and
here.
There are people that would do it.
For sure. They just got to see. They got to see a few people do it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
All right. Well, we got to get back on track. Thank you.
I'm gonna get into politics. I thought we talking politics. I was about to jump in it. I know.
You're right there. I just don't want to forget Lou Dowdy.
Yes.
And
stand out.
And
Rome.
Mac Rome, man. What they did working on these projects and everything, doing the Martin Luther King extravaganza, parade, the gala.
Beautiful.
Good job.
Yes,
Incredible. San Bernardino Standouts of the Week.
Hey now.
Put on by Ben Chavez with First Lineage Site Services.
Awesome.
They provide services to sites here locally, and he's a local boy, and he just wants to do good things.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Lou for sure.
Yeah, and Lou Dowdy, man, like she just does so much.
Hey, she do. Let me give Lou her flowers on air because me and her be having our ups and downs. We didn't have issues in the past. You know what I'm saying? But besides the issues, I still see the work.
Amen.
You
doesn't discredit.
No matter what the issues we had, I've always seen the work, and even getting past our issues. Yeah. You feel me? I just want to give her flowers for doing what she's doing in the town. She keep holding it down. She gonna continue to hold it down. And
Even
I mess with you for that.
You know, like she doesn't always get all the support either.
No.
Yeah.
But like she still powers through
like
that stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. I was one of the not supporting, and I'm not gonna say I support everything she do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give her credit for everything, all the work.
Amen.
You feel me? And that's what I'm learning, even getting older, and even being in this game.
That's what's up.
Is that I'm gonna be able to work with people that I really might not agree with sometimes.
You got to be able.
But you learn from those people.
And even if I don't learn from them, I can respect them.
Amen. And that's the key.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we kind of lost in our nation
Well,
nowadays.
I find that if you always bouncing your ideas off of the same person, the same ideas,
100%.
you don't get what you
no
need
growth,
to
man.
grow.
There's no
Yeah.
growth.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah.
like literally, like I'm not a good singer.
Yeah.
And I did the Christmas carols with Lou.
Yes,
you
right?
did.
I'm not good, but I did it, and she made sure I was better than I was,
Yeah,
right?
for
And
sure.
that makes me feel good. You know?
Beautiful.
Shout
And
out to Lou.
I
She
wanna-
been reaching out to me to do events. Sometimes I can't do it. Like she hit me up for this Black History event, and I just wasn't on top of it like I should have. So shout out to her because, like I said, through our differences, she still, what I'm
Amen.
saying, be reaching out and doing the work and putting on it, and never like smutting or saying crazy things about my name or nothing like
There's
that.
no
So,
need for any of that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
all out here. We all going to have our own unique approaches,
Facts.
but our hearts are all ingrained in
Facts.
bettering our community.
Facts,
And
facts.
as long as we continue to keep that the focus and support one another, we might not agree with everything,
Facts.
but we know that the intent is genuine
Facts.
and real, and we
Yeah.
need to be. That's where we need to get back to as a country and as a nation. I don't have to agree with you, but we should be able to respect one another and
Facts.
Yeah,
recognize each
that's
other's
where
humanity.
it's gone wrong, man.
Facts.
Like people can't talk anymore, man.
Yes, and we got to have conversation to get to solutions.
I've always said that compromised legislation and government is way better than if you do one side or the other. 'Cause
Yes.
the other side gets in there and changes it the next time if you don't compromise.
And we need more options besides the left and right, right? We need the Green Party. I say the Purple Party. I want to get all the people that got common sense from the red and the blue, scoop them out. We the Purple Party. You know what I mean? Just let the extremists be on the left and right. They could just be nutty on both sides, and we're
I don't
moving
even
this way.
pick a side. I'm gonna be 100. I don't pick no sides.
I'm an independent.
Even when it comes to
It-
politics or none of that, just
declined to state is what it is. So you didn't pick a political party either. Or?
Nah, I'm not picking
Yeah.
one because each time I be like,
I see good ideas from both sides.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm a capitalist, but at the same time, I understand both sides. You feel
Yeah,
me? Like
yeah.
so.
And
Word
we,
up.
sh-
No,
we
I
shouldn't
understand.
have to just pick one side, man.
No,
Facts.
it should be any choice that we make should be for the greater benefit for all of Americans.
And if you're an asshole, if you are that way, then I ain't gonna vote for you.
if
right?
you're a buttocks,
Well, that was like one of those mules kind.
definitely. I'm actually looking forward after this conversation what we just spoke about hearing Martin Luther King's speech. You know what I mean, and just resonated.
And that's one thing that I'd like to do every single since my show's on Monday, it always coincides with Dr. King's observed birthday.
Awesome.
And I like to listen because people they've heard of the title, and they heard a little maybe the main "I Had a Dream," but they never really listened to. A lot of people don't really.
No, I hear you.
take it
Listen
in.
to the whole speech.
And every time I do, I learn something new, and it just inspires. It makes me feel more like, man, this work ain't done.
It sure, sadly, is
Yeah.
not. It's much more work to be done.
You know what's funny? His work will never be done.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter where we get, and no matter where it gets, it's gonna be always work. That's how
No,
that's
no.
how-
It
Gotta
says
keep-
that the poor will always be with you, and when I don't mean just the people that might be physically, socioeconomically depressed. I see that more so that there's always going to be issues present. You know what I mean, throughout the duration of our time, but we can address these things if we come together.
I mean, if you look back, even in the Bible times, there was issues.
yeah, definitely. Ain't
So-
nothing
so-
new under the sun.
Yeah, so it's always gonna be something. But of course, everything he said will always, resonate. You know what I'm saying? No matter when.
It even
whole-
to me
the whole-
resonates
yeah.
worldwide.
Amen.
For sure.
I mean, if you go into other countries where there is,
I got my shirt on. I can't
Yeah.
even see. We're gonna have to move that peace
oh
sign.
yeah, we
peace sign.
moved that over. Ah!
There you go.
There we go.
There you
Where,
go.
where'd you get that shirt?
This is a designer out of LA named Desto Dub, off a lot of cough syrup, but he made a Martin Luther King.
Well, as we're here, how do we get a hold of your merch and your?
This
shirt,
isn't my
Charlie?
merch though.
But you do have.
I do
some.
have merch. MudaJuice.com.
Juice,
I'll be
yeah.
dropping a new collection in February.
Okay.
Awesome.
Probably do something to I went to a HBCU.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wilberforce University. So I'll probably do a Wilberforce inspired
All
piece
right.
coming
That's
up.
beautiful.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
beautiful. I like that. I
All
like
right, Erica, you ready over there? All right, let's get rumbling.
Present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. And every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, This must become true. And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring in Whitney Capital. When we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Wow, man.
Powerful.
I wonder how many people at that speech knew how big that speech was gonna be.
I hear you. If they could see the future, the
Yeah,
impact
that's crazy.
of that moment.
Yeah, that's deep. And I don't know, and this is what I picked up. Obviously, I've seen the speech many times, but I don't know if it was the media or it was just that many white people there. But did you see how it was just a lot of the coverage was like? Of course, it was Martin, but then the crowd. I don't know if they're strategically showing that it was a lot of white people, or unless it was a lot of white people there.
It was a very diverse audience.
Okay, because I did see like it seemed like the cameras were I'm not going to even say focused, but the most of the crowd that the camera was hitting had like majority white people. To me,
in the speech, it does say little white children and black children holding hands. They probably were trying to portray what the speech was saying. Yeah,
and really just highlighting the diversity there, because that's especially when he got into how the economic things, like we're all poor, regardless of what color or ethnicity or what religion.
Poor don't have no color.
Yeah, when he got into
green.
when he got into that vein of thought, that's when really that amalgamation of all the different ethnicities and communities started really coming together, because it's like we're all struggling here. You know what I mean? Regardless of
what do you feel about the youth? Like, he looks young. He looks like a leader you're willing to follow right there, right?
Yes, indeed.
His voice
Kinda what
is
you were just
strong.
referencing.
Yeah. I like a younger leader. He's pretty handsome, right?
There you go.
So
That don't hurt.
He had all this going for him, and like a really powerful movement, incredible. And then someone took his life. He took his life
sadly.
away, man.
Yes.
But still, the strength of his power, of his words.
Definitely.
can I ask y'all something real quick?
Yes. Go
ahead,
With that last part you said that they took his life. And I asked this about a lot of people that died, and then that their presence was known even more, or it was more
Martyrs.
valued.
Like a
Do
martyr.
y'all believe, and y'all both can answer this, do y'all believe Martin Luther King would be as big as he did if he didn't get assassinated?
I personally believe he would have, because what usually happens when you're that good of an orator is you run for office. And he eventually would have ascended the political ladder, possibly even up to senator. Wouldn't it have been incredible if he could have achieved more?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I will say that you're right, and that is big. But I don't know any senators' names. Not one. And I know that they're making differences and whatever,
Definitely.
but I can't. Like if 10 senators walked in right now,
I hear you.
the biggest ones,
I hear
the
you.
ones that made the biggest changes in the world,
I hear you.
I would not have a clue who they are.
So you're saying that the martyrdom itself increased?
Let's look at people like, and obviously this is the
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, Shakur,
hear
Nipsey Hussle.
I hear you.
You get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
These are people that, as immediately after they died, they're
Tupac, Biggie.
huge.
They were already big, but sadly, their untimely demise.
If I was to say one more, Jesus Christ.
He's the biggest one, right?
Yeah, right. Seriously, it really you're
Because
you're
Jesus
really
Christ,
right.
would Jesus Christ be the Jesus Christ he is if he wasn't crucified? If he died an old man at 99?
It's so pivotal in that religious book that his death and coming back. That's kind of like the thing that kind of makes the Christian philosophy
the
or belief.
fame, the
That's
star,
the key
yeah.
part of it.
Because we talk
that
about
he-
some of the older people in the
you know,
Bible, but we don't really they don't elaborate on the older people.
Yeah.
There's been many of renditions and different. You have King James version.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and trace to some of the earlier versions of it, you'll hear more in there. There's people say there's the aquifer and things of these things, other chapters that are missing that tell stories. But I encourage anyone, regardless of your belief system, to learn about the belief systems that are held in our world, because there's every culture, ethnicity has some kind of creation story that they ascribe to,
Right.
you know, and before and I just want to make this
Yeah.
point, before you learn your religion and learn all that you learn in this world, you're a human first, and we have to respect one another. Just because we might not agree in how what we believe in or the dogma that we ascribe to, we're human first, and we get here as human and we leave as human, and that to me has to always be the first thing that we acknowledge and recognize, that we're all human and we're all trying to find a way
And
to
if we
be our
can
best
do
self.
that, yes, it'd be incredible, man.
I think we can do incredible
Because
things.
that's
we're
that's
celebrating
how
an
I
incredible
was.
man.
That's why I'm a little different as a human. I'm trained as an anthropologist. We've been taught to watch and study every culture. Not to mention, my father was the first. You know, you went to Vietnam,
Yeah,
and
same here.
war will definitely teach you that you all humans.
My dad
and
said ain't no enemies in the foxhole.
Yeah, and that guy's got my back right
Right.
there, right?
Right.
So I learned at a young age that wow, the stuff that some of my elders were saying, that's not right, you know, like there is racism in the elders in some of my family, right?
Yeah,
I believe
that
it.
did not pass on to me. right?
Amen.
Yeah.
And
I
I
know
think
it
it's
didn't.
because of the work that was started by these civil rights leaders like Dr. King, some of the stuff in San Bernardino with the early
Francis
civil
Grace.
rights cases with the swimming and the plunge.
Yes.
Did you know about that?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest on
a lot of
on camera. I don't know too much civil issues in San Bernardino.
Oh,
I never learned about it.
yeah.
I went to
And you
I went to a
should.
HBCU though, so I kind of disconnected from San Bernardino when I was in college, and I started learning about that stuff. But I am gonna actually, now that you said that, I'm gonna take some time on really diving into the history.
Okay, so
Of San Bernardino.
there was a court case. Basically, they would drain the pool every Saturday or Sunday after the Mexicans would use it, and that was the only time that the African Americans and Mexicans could use the pool and drain it the next day. So they fought these rules and they integrated the pool system. So San Bernardino was one of the start of the civil rights movement, even before Dr. King.
What year was that? Do you know?
1954. I'm pretty sure. But I'll get you more of that information. I'll send it to you. It's really interesting.
And I think that, to me, that point that Muda is just bringing up, to me, highlights the importance of your history segment that you normally open the show with, because there's a great history here in the heart of the biggest county in this country, and many do not know of these stories and the great accomplishments. How some of the first African Americans that were able to own land happened here, with the flight of the Mormons back, but be able to purchase large swaths of land, and
really
start
cheap.
businesses. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of great things. Every place has the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? But we need to know about all these things so we don't repeat these things. You know what I mean?
So I have so we just watched this. I Have a Dream. Why I invited you on, Muda, is you have an interesting perspective. You're from here.
Right.
You know,
West
you're
side.
from here, but you're also family is from Africa, right?
sir. Yep.
So like, I was wondering, like, what do the ones from Africa, what do they think about Dr. King and the civil rights? Have you ever?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, like, do other countries? I'm sure other countries must emulate some of the stuff that Gandhi and Dr. King did.
Mandela.
Yeah. I'm sure they have, but I haven't really dived deep into that situation when it comes to Nigeria, because I just know during that time they were also going through their issues within.
Apartheid.
You know what I'm saying? And then it was like they had their own wars and coups they was dealing with on their own around that time.
their area, yeah.
So I don't even think that could affect them that much because there wasn't too much segregation. The segregation was between Nigerians and Nigerians because of the Europeans, right?
That's interesting.
So they were,
tribal
if anything, I think they would, and I'm only speaking off of me guessing because I don't know, but I will find this information out. I believe they were more influenced by probably Mandela, because that was probably more closer to home because that was European. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And let's also think about this: technology isn't this now. Who knows when that speech even got to Nigeria?
I hear you.
You get what I mean?
No, I hear you.
The influence of it, though.
No, I totally hear
Pretty
you.
sure maybe one person, but because again, even word of mouth now, like today, what we were talking about with the times of things that was off, right? Even in 2004, things can get misconstrued.
Yes, indeed.
With communication, right?
Yes, indeed.
Imagine in the 50s. How were they people in Africa even know about that speech?
I hear you.
If they didn't have a TV.
Or if they didn't have access to a paper, and a paper that's covering.
If they can
across
even
the
read
pond.
Word.
Word up. Word up.
And I'm being
Bring
just
us a key voice.
you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Do you think it's so the fact that Dr. King did these things is the reason why a lot of Africans can, they come to America and not experience the harsh segregation and stuff that used to
You know what's
occur,
crazy?
yeah?
I'll tell you a funny story. My dad told me rest in peace. He went to Southern University. It's a HBCU in Louisiana. Obviously, Louisiana is a very racist state. And then he went to school in like the early 80s, maybe late 70s, right? Yeah. He told me there was a story one time. He was a pizza delivery man. He was on the way to deliver some pizza or something. He got lost. He was in a dark neighborhood, whatever. He got pulled over by the police. As soon as they got to his door, they said some crazy stuff to him. Then when he opened his mouth and they heard that he had an accent, they said, "Oh, you're African. Oh, you good? Go ahead. Go about your day.
Really?
Go about your night."
So
And he literally said he felt like being African at that time saved his life because the racism wasn't towards Africans. It was towards black Americans, African Americans. So when they heard his accent, they like, "Oh, you probably just an African out here to go to school and go back to your country."
You make me want to have to pick up an African accent just for self-preservation.
I mean, this is what he told. Obviously, this is the late 70s, early 80s. You get what I'm saying? But even that, to me, that was like, I'm like, wow, that's kind of deep, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense too, because why would I be racist to anybody outside of American? Because you probably just here for a reason and you out of here. I don't like the black people. Y'all Africans didn't do nothing. Y'all going back. You going back to Africa 9 times out of 10.
No, I hear you.
It's just tribal. It really
is.
It doesn't matter where you go. Humans get greedy and they argue with each other.
Yeah, because then you'll go to Nigeria and there'll be two different tribes that are literally into it so bad that they're killing each other.
Or you could look at Ireland and Scotland, the Catholics and the Protestants. From the outside looking in, they look the same. They enjoy haggis.
We would never
Palestine and Israel from the outside looking in.
You would never get it.
They look, I don't know until you tell me that either this or that.
Yeah.
But it's something about, and we referenced the Bible earlier. You see conflicts like that throughout humanity. Sadly. That's sad because we're all human and we all have a limited amount of time here in this experience. Why do we have to fight? The world produces enough food for everybody. It's the ills that we battle in this world. Greed, gluttony is almost like the 7 deadly sins are what we really do battle here in this dimension.
It's almost like, with even we speaking about the Bible and stuff, it's almost like the world wouldn't even be the world if there wasn't any issues. This is something really, really deep you got to think about, right? But I'm just saying, like, there has always been conflict. There's always been war.
You sound like my dad. He's like, there's always been war.
You know what I'm saying? There's always been war. There's always been conflict. There's always been issues between peoples.
Yes.
Different type of. It could be to us. It could be like y'all both look white to me.
Why
what are y'all beefing about? But they know that they don't like each other.
And then we had a civil war here where brothers were literally fighting brothers because one believed that slavery was had no issue with slavery.
It kind of feels recently like there's some.
Yeah, look at like the Holocaust when it was the Germans and the Jews. Yeah. I can't tell them apart. I'm gonna be totally honest.
Yeah,
I can't tell them two people apart, but they can.
I hear you.
And actually, if you took 10 people from any race and put them up, you could find the features that from the original humans.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna all see that they got some. Yeah. They all.
Wait, you got a nose
Africa.
too?
Yeah.
Wait, oh my God!
Yeah, we're all the same. We're humanity. Our blood, our body parts are interchangeable. So we have to get back to that.
Well,
It has to be the right blood type
and
things
you
of
know,
that
there's
nature.
some things I
But
can't
there's-
change. You know,
But the one thing that I want to point out is that saddens me about this experience is that from a genetic point of view, it's only 2% that determines your skin color, your eye color, and your hair texture. So we allow ourselves to be divided when we're 98% identical.
It's,
you know what I mean?
it's
And
really
it's sad that we.
It's even
you know?
scarier with this. They're being able to discern amounts of Neanderthal DNA than Azovan DNA in you. So it's eventually going to be like that. You're only this much human.
Yeah.
You know, like when do you?
They're gonna
stop
always
this
find
stuff?
something
Yeah.
to
Like I
differentiate.
said, I've separated myself, and I'm not saying I would love peace. I would love everybody to love each other, but I know that's not even realistically gonna happen ever.
That's
like,
why
you know
you
what I'm saying?
bring Moon
And,
on.
and I hope it happens, but I'm not naive though. You feel me?
But, and I hear you. But what you do in the community, you do it from a place of hope and making a difference. So if we all pour that same thing, who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
But I believe that if we all do that, I know good things will come about.
100%.
You know what I mean?
But at the same time, with even me doing that, I sometimes have issues with people.
No, I hear
and not like community people. I'm just saying people,
No,
like humans.
it's
I have an
human,
issue with somebody.
Yeah,
but I
personalities.
can still feed the homeless and like not like somebody. You know, and it
it's-
sucks.
And
But it's life,
and
though.
go shake their hand and work
Definitely.
with them while they're there. Yeah.
Sometimes I
yeah.
can't though.
I
that's
can.
fine. That-
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah, some people I
Actually,
can't
there is a
rock
few.
with.
I tell you, you're right. You're right.
We might have spoken about one earlier off there. We're not gonna mention no
For sure.
names.
Yeah, let's take that back.
But I will. What I will say, going back to the I Have a Dream speech. Going back to the I Have a Dream speech and correlating that with what I said earlier about the young people in power, right? Think about this: who's making the biggest impact in the world ever? The young people.
The new generation with
At
the
that
new
time,
ideas, the new
at that
innovation.
time,
Yes.
of that time,
Yes,
it's
indeed.
always the young people of that time.
Yes.
Changing.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes.
So that goes back to what I'm saying in the Dino. Young brings change.
Amen. It makes me think about San Bernardino generation now and how these people
You
have
get what I'm
climbed
saying?
up this
I mean,
place.
think about it again. Like
Yeah.
we go from being like Jesus Christ days.
There you go.
He was young, doing what he
Yeah.
going through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let's talk about all up until Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
They were doing a lot of things.
At a
even
very young age.
Mandela.
Yeah.
He was so young. He did how many years in jail? Maybe 20.
Yeah, a long time.
You're able to do that many. That means you were young when you were trying to make that change, right?
Word up.
Um,
Word up. Amen.
And then let's bring it to Tupac,
I hear you.
who died at what 25 years old,
25.
who made probably the biggest impact in hip hop.
And still is making an impact.
Current-
Still
up
has
in-
influence.
If
Had Nipsey.
you look at running for president, right? The main thing is age. Like that's the main rule that you can't break. You have to be 30 years old, I believe.
I hear you.
Right. So if someone ran for 25, I think, and they wouldn't let them. I think things like that needs to change.
I
man.
don't think a 25-year-old can be a president though. I'm
But
gonna be honest.
I think a 30-year-old.
I think there's I think when it comes to
29.
presidency, that's literally the biggest spot. You
think-
need
Well,
experience.
do they need to be old?
I just
Like
think,
how old
I just
is
think
old
you,
enough?
I just think you need experience, and with experience, age brings experience and
And I-
wisdom.
All
I
right,
think-
but that could be for local politicians as well, right?
But the local stuff. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
But the
Go
local
ahead.
stuff is where the change needs. I mean, you're right. But because the president runs literally the United States president literally dang near runs the world.
Has influence, definitely.
Yeah, I
Huge
feel like
influence.
there's a lot of things you're gonna have to learn that you can't learn that fast.
And this is what I was going to respond to that, because to me it's more about the context of the individual, right? Because
Yeah.
you have these kids that are part of Mensa, like some of the smartest and most brilliant minds that got doctorates. They're only teenagers and they got a doctorate already.
Yeah.
So to me it depends on the individual,
Yeah.
because you do have people that are young that have big brain capacity that even though we might be 60 years of wisdom,
Yeah.
our mind ain't even thinking about or even where their mind is at.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So
Correct.
I think it depends on the person, but I agree with you in the aspect of that. Like you said earlier, it's time and encouraging anybody out there of youth that wants to run for a position or a seat or leadership anywhere in our community. Do it. The time is now. We have to make this change now. This is our time, and we want to utilize the wisdom of the elders. We're not trying to exclude or anything, because they have much to teach.
Yeah.
And the elders that really have a good, real grasp on reality. If you want to see your works continue forward, you better find vessels to pour into.
Yeah.
Because if you don't pour, when you transition, your work's going to stop right there.
Right.
We have to start building up those avenues and exchanging that information and knowledge and insight and wisdom, because the youth are going to bring perspectives that they might not see, but then the elders are also going to be aware of things that the youth is unaware that's in the path that's ahead of them that they're going to
That's
experience.
why I personally like one elder in a group that has like not always just age, but has been experienced with that,
yeah.
and then more bringing new people into the group so their new ideas.
I think an
flow
elder
as
can be
well,
around
yeah.
as a mentor, like
Yes,
not
yes.
sit on any chairs. I could have an elder as maybe somebody that's giving me advice,
yes, definitely.
and wisdom
And maybe
mentoring.
Yes.
and
But
maybe some support
And
you know,
support,
yeah.
And then they can do that because they're in better financial positions. Usually
or
as you grow older.
they know more people in their network.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true as well. They
Yeah.
live longer, a little bigger.
But the thing is, even that, because with social media now, older people and the elders know a lot of people because of what they were doing through time.
Yeah.
Social
Yeah.
media has cut that in quarters.
Yes,
you
it
can
did.
have that same. We have a much
Bigger
easier for us
reach.
to get a bigger reach and reach a larger audiences than they ever could at any time in
Because
their life
half of
compared
them,
to now.
half of the elders now don't even. They're not even tech savvy. They can't really use social media like that.
Yeah, some
Shoot,
are better
I'll be
than
calling my
others.
Yes, I'd
mama's
say
phone all the
majority.
time so she can find it, man.
You know what I'm
word
saying?
up. No, I hear
So that is the change that, because again, people who can't do this and use this like they need to, like how we can,
Yeah.
shouldn't be in positions to make decisions, if you ask me.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Because this is a big key in our life.
That's
now.
a tool. That's a tool that is at our disposal, and if they don't know how to utilize that tool, then it is a detriment to what they're trying to create. So they need to learn and pick up these things. You run across a lot of elders that have intrepidation of using technology, but they used to say the same thing about the computer. Some people are like, "Oh, you're going to get left behind if you don't utilize the tools of the current time." You know what I mean? So
and
that's
people
a-
who didn't, they
so
did get left behind, didn't they?
That's what happens. You know?
Okay, so after watching this speech and
Yeah.
like applying it to today, how the Democrats and the Republicans or MAGA and all them are arguing, what would you say? How would you bring these two groups together? You know, we're all kind of in the center more than most people, right? So how would you bring them together as they're, you know, at least on some points? Because there's got to be. We're not arguing about everything. There are things we have.
You know what? I
Good.
think what brings people together outside of money, I think is the youth, is the kids.
That is true.
The hopes for all of our
just kidding. I mean, because think about this: like when something tragic, like when a mass shooting happens at an elementary school, literally the whole world is sad.
I hear you.
You get what I'm saying? So that just tells you right there. Even when it comes to gang politics, you're not allowed to touch women and kids.
I hear you.
Anything that has to do with anything, it's kids out of it.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
The
So I say
future,
that to
that's
say
our
like
collective
Can bring us together.
kids,
You,
if everybody focus on just bringing the youth up
I
and
hear
bringing ideas and programs and things like that, that possibly can bring people.
Hey, wait a
Because
second, you're already doing that.
I mean, I'm doing it, but the world ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? And some places,
Follow Muda.
some people might not be able to have the influence that I can have.
There you go.
You get what I'm
I hear
saying?
you.
But what I will say is I do see a lot of like people coming together when it has to do with like, I mean, obviously tragedy too, but it's anything with the youth.
I hear you.
With the
I
kids, you know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
When
agree.
kids accomplish stuff, you see everybody clapping. You know what I'm saying? When you
Definitely.
see kids doing crazy stuff that they are breaking records, everybody's clapping. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Because so when anything bad happens to kids, everybody's sad.
Amen. Word up. Word
You
up.
get what I'm saying? And
No, I
that's
hear you,
all
brother.
across the board.
I hear you. I hear you. To me, that's speaking towards our humanity.
Yeah.
Speaking towards our humanity. For me, my approach would be that knowing that there's so much division in here, like, why would we want to equip our children with hate, right?
Yeah.
Don't we want our children, regardless of where you're at in the spectrum, don't you want your children to be better than you? I think a flaw that we are dealing with is that we get so entrenched in our lived experience and our vantage point, right? And we don't want to recognize that there's other lived experiences, other people's have other experiences in this country, you know what I mean? And we have to be able to acknowledge that your life and the way you live and the advantages you may have are not the advantages this person may have. They might have unique advantages in their own way, but getting back to recognizing each other's humanity.
All
Like,
right, all right.
We all leave it.
Emperor Muda and Pope. Where we got this set up. You know, we're gonna get Bernardino spotless. We're be doing good.
We all fall short of the glory.
We're gonna try, man. But like I said, the first thing, number one thing is Let me say this publicly right now. We got 5 minutes. Rent control. Y'all better get that rent control together. That's what's dividing us.
It's many of issues, but that is definitely an
That's
issue.
I mean, in current times, right?
And especially
you can't
specifically in
afford
this
to pay
county.
rent, man.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't.
Here we go.
We losing friends, neighbors, and all this solely because their job that they've always had can't let them afford where they live.
A living wage. So that connects to we need to obviously, yes, have rent control. We also need to make sure that we're making the proper investments where people can actually make a living wage, where they can actually work a job, a full-time job, and provide for their family,
And if
move
you
into
do
home
fall
ownership.
off, someplace to shelter for a little bit to get back on your feet, right?
Definitely, because we're all gonna fall, you know, and we're
Some
all
people
gonna need
fall
assistance.
worse, and they need that help. Like those are the things that we're missing.
And
Cheap rent,
sometimes we don't even fall short. Sometimes the hand that was the cards that were given to us.
No, I hear you.
You get what I'm saying?
And
You were dealt the wrong hand, and
I
it's
got
tough.
dealt a lucky hand. I had to admit. I admit that. Yeah.
Definitely. And even though the main thing I think we should focus on is that you've been dealt a hand and that you are in the game and you can play. And who knows how the cards may, you might got two, you play in Texas Hold'em and you got a deuce and a deuce of spades and a deuce of hearts, and you might think, oh, I could never win this hand, but then the flop and there's the other two deuces out there and you got the quad, you know, and the other person's holding pocket aces, and they, you were dealt that hand, and that hand is still a winning hand on that play. You know, you got the winning hand. So to me, it's about a shift in our perspective, because this gift of life is a gift to all of us, regardless of your belief system or your political. We are all blessed to be alive, and I think if we recognize the gift of life, that hopefully that allows us to value one another, because we're all going to leave. So why rush it? Why be in a rush to leave? That's guaranteed. If you're alive, you're going to die.
Yes, exactly.
Why rush to get to the exit? You know, let's build together.
Enjoy
I believe
a
in
little bit.
utopia of humanity.
I
believe in humanity.
Last little bit, it's like a little reunion right here.
That's what I'm saying earlier today.
Bernardino.
For real, going down back
Man,
to DJ.
listen, when I met these guys, man, I was just a young DJ, man, trying to figure
He had
it
his
out.
coffin. He bring his whole coffin.
Man, what? Man, the times have changed. I'm glad to
Amen.
see y'all brothers doing
Good to
y'all
see you
thing.
as
I'm
well,
glad
family.
we able to come back and still be on one accord
Amen.
and one.
Amen.
We
I
still
love your
aligned.
perspective, dude.
Man.
You
Me and Robert
never
locked in
know
for-
what Muda's gonna say because he tells the truth.
I'm a wild card. I heard I was a wild. Somebody called me a wild card this weekend. I took that like, I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can't box me in.
Yeah.
And then definitely just got to say this: West Side, San
West Side,
Bernardino,
West
for real.
Side.
For I saw Coco from Susie Lane from West Side. You know what I mean? All the whole Susie Lane crew and just good times. It's always good to see brothers and sisters that you go through this lived experience, doing well for themselves and having families and making sure their bloodlines continue.
What's your next move, Muda? What's your next move?
Like I said, I got a podcast I'm heading to now. Podcasting, DJing, continue doing the stuff in the community. The Cleanadino's coming back. I'm having a date in February. I actually had I don't know if I should say it, but I got a new partner in the Dino.
Right.
That a partner that a lot of people haven't wanted to work with because of what they do. But they reached out to me, and we're going to come with a partnership, and we're going to clean up the Dino and come with some more events. So you should be seeing a flyer really, really soon.
All right.
And then Muda Juice, you said you have a new
I got some merch coming out. I put Muda Juice to the side for a little bit, just because of what I'm doing now in the community. I kind of wanted to stray away from it for a little bit. But it's coming back, and we got some more other stuff in the Muda Juice line that's not juice, but it's still gonna get you where you need to be.
It's gonna get you juice,
and it's gonna get you where you need to be. So 2024 is Muda's year, so look out for me. I promise you, we going crazy.
Muda year, and we will end on that note. Okay?
And I just want to say, lead with love, lead with love, lead with love.
Oh, right on. And this is Robert Porter and Ipiani Lockhart and Muda Juice in the house, and we all out of here.